Good morning, lovelies. ZoëTwoDots here with some more Pokemon Go goodness for you. And today we have got the debut of the Gigantamax Charizard, Blastoise and Venusaur in Pokemon Go. The only issue being this event kicked off at about 10 AM and despite there being a wonderful turnout of people so far, word has it from the lovelies over in New Zealand that you're going to need close to 30 people to get this one done. You can kind of tell by the lobby that is forming here, we don't quite have 30 people. So I've only heard one account so far from a group that had about 20 people in it. They could not get the GMAX battle done. I don't know what they had for their teams. I don't know if they had all maxed out, evolved Pokemon to use. Some of the guys here that were here earlier trying to do it with a team of 10 had no chance, but we're just slowly jumping in, jumping out to try and lure more people up. Come to the Charizard, come this way, just to see if we can start one of the battles. It's close to 11 AM and we still have not had a successful run on one of these yet, but be patient. We'll see how we go, but this might prove to be a bit of a fail for any smaller communities out there, because this is it's gonna be tricky. We'll see. We'll assess. We'll see how we do. But yeah. All right, jumping in for the first attempt. We've got 24, which is the most we've seen pop in so far. So wish us luck. Oh dear. Okay, that does a lot of damage. The issue is going to be that Charizard, I think, has the highest attack out of all of them. So it's just going to be essentially chipping away and doing an annoying amount of damage before we can kind of do much. Oy. Not sure as well how effective the heal moves, the blocking moves and stuff are going to be. Maybe I might try and use one of the shield moves if I've unlocked it on this Blastoise. I have. Let's go the old Max Guard. So that should hopefully at least put a shield on for my team. And then, oh, I forgot to change this to a water move. Okay, I thought I changed these all last night to, I changed these moves last night to be water. That's silly. If we need to reattempt, I'm gonna be changing that ASAP. That's silly. Okay, that's my fault. Whoopsies. All right, well, I guess chuck out a heal. We're about halfway at least. We have made it at least halfway. This is good. I think the big difference here is going to be, I swear I changed the moves last night. I went through last night and changed all of the moves to make sure that the typing's lined up. Obviously, so it's the fast attack move is going to be what is influencing your max move. So this Blastoise obviously has Bite by accident instead of, I don't know, Aqua Jet or whatever it should have. So, not looking too bad with a group of 24. So fingers crossed. I think the main factor is going to be depending what you are bringing in. If you're bringing a powered up team versus a not very powered up team, if you're only using, I'm just going to try and take my Squirtle in there, that's not going to work out for you. But we might actually be able to do this. 24, okay. I feel like the Max Guard actually did a fair bit as well in terms of shielding, so I might keep that going. I think we have this. I think we got this. I really wish I had the right moves though. All right, home stretch. Come on, we got this. Come on. We got this. 10 Pokemon remaining. Everyone's just squeezing it out. Good job, team. Yeah, woo. GG's, everyone. I heard the Kiwi guys, I think out of a group of 22 got the shiny, so fingers crossed. Good luck. If anyone's going to get it. Yeah. I will not be leaving someone to defend because I need these for the next battles. Sorry. And oh, shiny! Congrats! Wow. That's so good. Not for Alan. Dang. Not for me. Congrats! That's beautiful. Okay, so that's 2 shinies in the group. 2 in the group. All right, 2 shinies out of our group too. So 2 out of. We haven't got all 24 standing here. But 2 shinies, congrats. This should hopefully make it a bit easier to do the future ones because we're going to have something a bit stronger. Actually have the GMAX to take forward into the next battles. Good grief. All right, 1 hour later, stay in the ball. Stay in the ball. All right, let's go for the great throws because for whatever reason I'm missing the excellence. Oh, don't do it. Don't do it. 5 balls. If this thing runs away, I will be mad. Yeah, alright. 3 balls. Far out. Okay, excellent throw. Stay in the ball! Dude, this is criminal. This is actually like insanely rude. If you need to try and get this many people and you can't even catch the thing.
In my experience, doing a really scuffed throw is what makes it stay in.
Oh, I did plenty of those, don't worry.
There we go.
Oh, thank goodness, far out.
That's
pushing,
decent,
it's testing.
Decent IVs too.
I think it's I think it should be a 98. Very decent. Really annoying that I put all my candy into powering up a Charizard to get this Charizard, so whatever. We got one though. Let's go. I'm trying to like hide here from the wind because this breeze is ridiculous. Okay, after another like 30 minutes of coordinating people, we've got 22 going in for the GMAX Venusaur. So I think the strat here being obviously, if you're going to be doing these ones, probably try and, you know, start wherever you can, but then, you know, we all just got Charizard. I think some people maybe missed out on the catch, which is a little bit rough, but, you know, take that whatever you catch that is type effective on to the next one sort of thing, so that you can kind of take it with you. So obviously Charizard's going to be super effective against Venusaur. Oh my god, that is like eating through it though. I might try to have to charge up with the oh my god, charge up with the weaker Zards and then swapping into the GMAX one. Swap. So you do have a few seconds there to swap when you do reach that max meter. So swapping into the GMAX, keep it safe, keep it healthy, and then get that wildfire going. That does so little damage. Oh my god. I might need to even do a power up in between this. Okay, there's a little bit more damage, a little bit of damage. Oh my god, these things are going to be so tricky. Good grief. And then we have to swap back. Oh, before this one faints. Swap back out. Oh my gosh. Okay, Venusaur is a bit of a unit. So how we go. This is a party of 22, so we did lose 2 people as well. But we are slowly chipping away. That solar beam damage is ridiculous though. That's going to be an absolute pain in the butt. All right, so I feel like we're slowly just losing a few more people. A couple of power-ups later, we're going to reattempt because we all got wiped out with about a quarter of Venusaur remaining. So it's about 20 of us. We've done a few little power-ups. Hopefully that's enough. This is like the... Oh, is everyone having fun? Is everyone having fun? We're down to 3 Pokemon remaining. Second attempt. I don't think this is happening. Okay, so Venusaur is an absolute unit for HP, which is a bit of an issue. And even with 20 of us, we all just powered up. We all just spent so much Stardust powering up our Charizards. It's me. I'm trying my best. I'm trying, man. Cheer me on. I'm fighting for my life in here. Oh, God. I think this is going to be a... oh, there it goes. Bye-bye. Dude, the solar beam is disgusting. Well, we should get some battle tips. We should lay battle tips. Yeah, what should we do? Oh, we should live in a city that has like 4 billion people. Okay, that'll, yeah, sorry. My mistake. So here is the quandary that we're stuck in now. We are contemplating doing another Charizard to use that Charizard on the Venusaur. The only issue being, because of like the limit on, you know, particles that you can collect per day and all that jazz, probably have to put coins into, using my daily coins and stuff on actually getting more of the little Orbeez. I think we'll do like a proper recap and discuss at the end of this video, because at the moment it's going to be pretty chaotic just trying to like coordinate people and do these battles. So I'll give you guys a full recap at the end of how it all kind of shakes out. Well, I'm stuck in catch purgatory. I think I caught this on the first ball. It flashed, but it's crashed. So I'm going to very reluctantly restart the app. Hope for the best. God. I either hope that I've caught it on the first go or I can reattempt, because that was a mission. Okay, we got it. Complaints retracted. Holy moly, that's like, how long was that?
Yeah, but we got the Charizard done.
That is ridiculous. Okay, well we won. We did good. I'm not leaving anything to defend, sorry, because we need to take stuff to the Venusaur. Sorry about that. We'll do it for the last one of the day, we'll leave for someone, but Good luck, shiny check, all that good stuff. Bonus. No shine. Shiny? Hey, let's go, dude. Decent. I hit the, yeah. Congrats. Okay, first ball, very efficient. Quick little appraise. Not bad, but I'm probably going to have to max this one out to even have a hope to deal with the Blastoise at this rate. Looks cool though. Good grief, it is about 1 PM now. We've finally got the Blastoise done. That was an absolute mission. Okay, shiny check, good luck. Everyone. What is that? Okay, is it supposed to stand backwards? I'm guessing, okay, I'm guessing it does. Not shiny. Congrats. All right, who's ready for a yap sesh? So, ended the day on 8 Gigantamax raids completed and caught. I did manage to catch every single one of mine, so 8 done. But we're gonna get into I'm gonna go over a lot of things, so I'm just gonna play some footage from the other battles while I'm doing that talking. You can see here, 3 Charizard, 3 Venusaur, and 2 Blastoise that I ended up with. I got a lot of thoughts about all of this. Probably one of the main things that you guys want to know as well, like what's the shiny rate? How is that? Let's get that out of the way first. Shiny rate seemed good. I don't know if it's any better than 1 in 20. It's possibly too early to tell, and it's also considering the fact that for our groups, we didn't have every single person like present standing there. I don't know if they were somewhere else in the park or if they were, you know, air support or whatever else. But it seemed to be from our group of 20. Every raid there was about 2 to 3 shinies. So it could be better than a 1 in 20 rate. I don't know, but at the very least, every single one of our the max battles that we did, there seemed to be at least 2 shinies per one done. So that's good. That's nice. That's probably like the only real positive. You know, besides seeing nice people and having a chat today. I don't like being a negative person, generally speaking. I'm pretty much just like, I'll say it how it is. I'm pretty like, a cup is half. I'm neither optimistic nor pessimistic. I'm straight down the middle, but good grief, I'm struggling to have a lot of nice things to say about this feature. If you are rural, rest in pieces. If you have a small player community, rest in pieces. If you are busy on these weekends and things, rest in pieces, because you're not gonna be able to get it done. You will not be able to get a Gigantamax Pokemon, full stop, unless you trade for one in the future, because these things were rough as guts. It's almost 3 PM now. I left the park just after 2 o'clock. So we were there fighting for our lives for 4 hours. 4 hours with about 8 catches to show for it. So that's pretty rough. Obviously the snowball and like the ease of getting them done got easier towards the end once we had caught some to use for the future battles, but this is ridiculous. I'm gonna kind of like go through all of the points that I've got here, and then at the end, I'm gonna give you a bit of a summary and what you should do. Because people are still gonna wanna try and get these ones and get them done, and there's gonna be plenty of people that get it done easy and it's fine. But I'll have a bunch of tips at the end for my recommendations, like the order in which you should do these in, because there's ones that are significantly easier, Charizard, than the others. So a bit of advice on the order to do things if you have got a smaller community. I'll let you know like the smallest group sizes that we managed to do and all that jazz, but I'll leave that towards the end. First things first, the number of people. So as you saw for our first Charizard, we needed about 20 people to get that one done. Some people that were there earlier did make an attempt with 10 people, didn't even get close. As they said, they did maybe like a fourth, 1/4 of the damage that would be needed. So first Charizard done with 20. I think the smallest group we had for any of them was for Charizard after we had caught a previous Charizard. The second Charizard that we did, we managed to do that with a group of 14 or 15. I don't know if that last person dropped in or made it into the lobby sort of thing. But once we actually had like a GMAX Charizard to use against the Charizard, we were able to get it done with a group of 14. So again, there's a lot of factors in here. Like, I'm not micromanaging what everyone's bringing into the raids. There's no guarantee that, you know, people have got powered up stuff, evolved stuff, whatever else. But generally speaking, looking at people's phones and whatever else, at the bare minimum, things are evolved. There's no guarantee that people have put the max particles into powering up the max moves either. Some people have, some people haven't. Some people have multiple moves, some people don't. So that is going to factor in as well for how small you could make your group size. You know, long story short, if you've maxed out the Pokemon, maxed out its max moves, yes, it's going to survive longer and do more damage and be more effective and efficient. Not everyone has the time or resources for that. So as a general, you know, things are evolved and somewhat powered up. 14 was the smallest group we managed for Charizard. I don't think that would be physically possible for Venusaur or Blastoise unless you had done an insane amount of power-ups, and depending how heavily weighted the max move power-ups are. I'd be very, very curious for, you know, I'm sure there's hardcore players out there somewhere and you've got your hardcore crew of like 5 people. And you've, you know, since Dynamax has come out, you've already optimized and, you know, fully maxed out a Charizard, a Blastoise, whatever. I think that would be really important to see examples from smaller communities or smaller groups that are hardcore players. What is the smallest amount of people that can physically get one of these done if you've spent the resources? Because Venusaur and Blastoise were so annoying, just absolute units to try and like smack your way through. We couldn't get the first Venusaur done. We had to go and do another Charizard to get a second Charizard. So everyone's got 2 GMAX Charizards. People are dumping Stardust and candy into ones that are 10, 10, 10 IVs and no one wants to put resources in just to be able to battle the Venusaur for us to get that one done, for us to even catch a Venusaur. So that was just like, I think we reattempted Venusaur like 3 times before being like, do we just do another Charizard? And it's like, That then flows into, you know, if you're a free-to-play player, or not even if you're a free-to-play player, if you don't want to spend your coins on the max particles, if you're free-to-play, the most you could get done in one day for these GMAX battles is 2. And that would be having all of your max particles stocked up from yesterday, using them on one GMAX battle, because that's 800 Orbeez you need to use, then, you know, collecting enough Orbeez from the nearby power spots and have your walking one ready to claim as well. Cool, there's another 800. You could do a second one. The only exception to that would be if you have got a community ambassador group, an official community ambassador group. I believe if you check in to a local meetup for those, they are giving away free 800 particles. So awesome for you guys. But if you are, if you're in a severely underserved community, and you know, don't have a community ambassador group, tough luck, basically. Even if you like made an event on Campfire and everyone checked in, if you're not an official group, you don't get those free particles. So that's kind of dumb. I get promoting and highlighting community ambassador stuff, awesome, I'm all for that. But for this being the first weekend of GMAX raids, it would have been really smart to offer that for any meetup, even if it wasn't like approved ambassadors. Any group that had, you know, 20 or more people show up, 10 or more people show up and check in, give them the particles to actually get to get more than 2 of these, you know, battles in. But back to what I was saying, if you were just wanting to get 1 of each, 1 and done and you're happy, I would be more than happy with just having 1 of each of these. I don't need 10 of each. I don't want 10 of each. Why? Especially if I'm having to use my coins on the stuff. Like again, I use my coin. We'll go into why I use my coins later on, but like I personally, I'm content if it was just the 1 of each. But the fact that we couldn't even get the Venusaur done because of the amount of people we had. If we had more people, if we were living in Tokyo, Sydney, whatever, sure, you would have full lobbies, full of people, and we wouldn't need to, you know, do 2 Charizard to even get the Venusaur, you know? This is kind of like the scale. This is where the scale is. You're either having to have low population, high power-ups and, you know, better Pokemon, or more people and you can just bring in, you know, mid stuff. On top of this, after you finally just muscle your way through the battles, you get out the other side and it's time to catch. If you got the shiny, congratulations, it's a guaranteed catch like with regular, you know, raid encounters. If it's shiny, you can just put a pineapple on it and catch it, first ball. The catch rate for these things, I don't know if it's worse than regular raid bosses or it's just the fact that we have so little balls to catch it with that it feels worse, because I got down to the last ball several times on this, last ball, last second ball. If I've just spent an hour standing in the sun, we're just trying to like, okay, we only had the 14 of us and it wasn't enough. All right, I'll power up my stuff. You power up some stuff. Does anyone have, I guess I'll evolve this other Venusaur that I don't want to evolve, but we need something type effective to get through this, I'll waste a bunch of my resources to do this, and then you don't catch it because the catch rate is either that low or the amount of balls you get to catch it is too low. There were several people today did not catch all of them. Several people only caught half of the stuff. Even hitting excellent throws, hitting great throws consistently, a lot of people lost a lot of Pokemon. I may have lost one, actually, now that I think, no, was it Alan that lost one? I don't know if I was screen recording at the time. If I was, I'll put it in here, but I may have lost, I don't know if it was Alan that lost one or me. I was helping him catch. Now I'm mad. Point being, the catch rate is garbage when you get that few balls, and I'm not gonna spend coins to like, oh, get more prizes and bonuses and have some more balls. No, give people the right amount of balls to catch the thing. If you just made us spend an hour trying to coordinate, like, oh, hey, do you still play Pokemon Go? You wanna join this? Like trying to get enough people trying to reattempt and reattempt and reattempt. And each attempt is taking about 7 minutes-ish. From my screen recordings of like a full battle done, it's about 7 minutes. So it's like you're gonna get in, you know, 6 or 7 minutes and then be like, okay, we're just not gonna quite make it. Have to jump out, reattempt. All of the re-lobbying because the game kept, you know, kind of popping people back out of the lobby. So, hey guys, sorry, jump out, jump back in the lobby. Oh, someone's showing up, jump out, jump back in the lobby sort of thing. Like you've made people stand here frustrated, loss after loss after loss after loss, to then, oh, here's like 8 balls, try your best. No, it's, you know, it jumped out 8 times, sorry. You know, so sad, too bad. Like, that's annoying. You've just spent a day's worth of the resources for the max particles, or you've spent coins. You've had to grind your butt off to even get enough people out meeting at the same spot, same time, powering up stuff that you didn't want to power up, to then not even be able to catch the thing after you've reattempted it 6 times. Like, that's not an enjoyable experience. It's not fun. Like, several times throughout the day, everyone's like, you having fun? Like, you know, I know Aussies have like a funny little sarcastic sense of humor and we're like saying it in a way that's just kind of like, we're making light of the situation, but everyone's just like, no, not really. Like this system isn't fun. I'm not feeling enjoyment and like, oh, how exciting and whatever else. It's frustrating. It's annoying. And we're all just like, you know, sometimes having a challenge is fun. I like difficult games. I like having a challenge. I like having, you know, something to work towards. But when it's so oppressively scaled against the player, it's annoying. Like we don't have a tiny, you know, Newcastle isn't tiny. We have a lot of players. A lot of players are spread over a large amount of area though. And it's like, in some aspects, it's not reasonable to expect that every single player is gonna be free on a Saturday morning to go and do these battles. And so when the best you can pull is 20, which 20 is still a massive amount of people, that's still a lot of people to get, like, to go to one place and meet up. And that's not even really feasible. Like it's very demotivating. It's not enjoyable. Like the fun that we're having is because we're like bantering about stuff or like talking to people we haven't seen in a while or hanging out with friends or whatever else. But it's just like frustrating. I think it's just insane that people couldn't even catch half of their things today. Looking at my Stardust, I think I didn't power up anything, I don't believe, before the Charizard. And from looking at my catch screen on Charizard this morning, I had about 11 million Stardust. Looking at it now, I have about 9.6 million Stardust, which I spent 1.3 million dust today powering up things that I didn't want to power up. The only like kind of decent one that I got was the GMAX Charizard. I'm happy to put some dust into that. Sure, whatever, we're gonna need it for future battles. I didn't really want to put dust into my 10-10-10 Venusaur or my 10-10-10 Blastoise. That's not my, I didn't want to do that, but we had to. I had to spend 1 million and a bit dust. Plenty of other people powering up a bunch of stuff as well. Someone is down to 2,000 dust. They spent all of their dust to try and like put together some functional teams. In terms of candy spent, I used over 700 Charizard candy, over 500 Venusaur candy today on stuff that I didn't want to use that on. And you could be like, okay, what else was I gonna put it in? I'd prefer to put it into one that was, you know, optimal. Put it into a shiny one. Put it into the one that has like a bit more decent IVs. I'd prefer to put it into that than spending it on something average. So for the 8 battles as well, 8 battles, if we're gonna equate it out to the max particle cost, that's about 6,400 max particles. So yes, I had to spend coins today to do more of these. Could I have left after I got my 3? Sure. But I'm sure there's a lot of people out, and I'm sure there's plenty of people that would, and that's totally fine. It's totally fine to do. But it's kind of rough when there's like halfway through the day, people show up and they're like, you know, because people have lives and they're allowed to have lives and go do things. You know, had sport in the morning, had work, have kids, whatever else. And they show up and they're like, oh, can we join for some battles? Like, of course you're gonna help people get them done. And there's plenty of people that just wanna keep doing the battles anyway. They wanna get the shiny, that's totally fine as well. It's like, I'm not just gonna bail out and then be like, oh, good luck champions. Like, I know we just muscled through for 2-3 hours trying to even scrape together the first 3 of these. I got mine, I'm out. You know, again, I'm also making a video, whatever else, but like, it's just so like counterintuitive. Like if you are the one person who shows up late or misses out or whatever else, like you're stuffed because the people can't redo that same battle. Like they can't help you get one if they've already done it. Like for these at least, the battles are resetting at the top of every hour. That's great. If you were someone that only had 1 power spot in your area, at least it's gonna refresh and it can be something different. But if you're showing up and it's already done, sort of thing, like, are you gonna be able to convince 40 people to either spend coins on more max particles to help you out, or hopefully they've got their free, you know, orbs to still collect to help with the next one, and maybe you go home with 1 if you catch it. It's just like, it's like I kind of knew how today would go, but I didn't expect it to be like this frustrating. I thought it would be challenging and be like, whoa, I had to power up a few things, and like, we got there in the end. It was frustrating. Again, if you're a city player and like a properly nice, dense city, you're probably gonna have fun, you're probably gonna love this feature, you know, enjoy. Please be aware of the privilege. It feels weird to say privilege about Pokemon. Like, please be aware of like the difference in experience that you're gonna have, because it is gonna be so much easier. Like, it's gonna be disgustingly easier than smaller or more rural communities, or people just don't have a lot of players available. Another thing to factor in as well is what I mentioned about powering up the max moves. So a few things I did see, there was a couple of people that had really good Metagross that they had found, fully maxed them out, and had also, over the last couple of weeks, spent their, you know, daily Orbeez, their max particles on unlocking all of the max moves and giving it, you know, the level 3 max moves. And consistently I would see those Metagross still there, outlasting everyone else. So it definitely does make a difference in terms of like powering your stuff up. Of course, Metagross is going to be resisting a bunch of stuff from from Venusaur and from Blastoise. But additionally, they did comment saying like they noticed the difference in having the level 3 max moves unlocked on them versus I think they had another one that didn't have all the moves unlocked, sort of thing. So like they noticed a difference. Definitely factor that in, I guess, if you have got ones that you've already unlocked the moves on. Of course, this is going to flow back to if you didn't prepare in time, if you didn't do this a week ago, 2 weeks ago, you can't really do it today, because then you're also, again, you need those max particles to use for gaining entry into the battles. So even today I got that really good Charizard. I'm not going to spend the max particles to give it a better max move or a second move or whatever, because I want to use those particles to actually do the Venusaur and the Blastoise. I want to do other raids. I don't want to, oh, sorry guys, I can't join in because I powered up the moves on this one. No, I can't actually help. Now it's better and it's more effective and it's stronger, but I can't help you because there's a cap on how many you can collect per day. Also stupid. It's just like, it doesn't, a lot of the systems in this game feed back into each other very well and very cleanly. And I feel like when this feature dropped at the start, it was like, okay, I can see where the loop is. But at this point, like with such an expensive cost to gain entry to a battle, the loop is deceased. The loop is gone. Unless you're willing to spend money or your coins from gyms, the loop is gone, because it would make sense. I caught a great one, awesome. I'm gonna power it up a little bit. I'm gonna unlock its extra moves, whatever else, and I'm gonna use it to help my friends on the next one. No, you can't, because you can only collect a certain number of those orbs per day, and you need those orbs to enter the battle. It's just like, it doesn't feed into the system itself, especially for an event like a raid weekend. If we're just talking about the whole longevity of Dynamax and GMAX, sure. Over the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, sure, because over that amount of time, you're gonna have plenty to power up that good one over time. But if we're talking about it in the context of like a raid day weekend where people have historically get the squad together, you go and do 20, 30, 40 raids, 10, 5, whatever. You're gonna smash out a bunch of raids with your local group, and like, you know, as you're catching, you're getting candies and you can power up your good ones and you're getting Stardust from the raids and you can put your good ones into the next battle. Like, it just does not function. It doesn't feed into itself organically on a like raid weekend scale of time. Then the requirement is too high for this short amount of time. Lastly, before I get into like some tips, I guess, I did leave a GMAX Pokemon in 2 of the power spots to defend because, as it says on here, if someone leaves a GMAX Pokemon to defend, a Dynamax Pokemon could show up. I'm guessing they mean as an encounter, like how we've seen Wooloo and that pop up as like those on-map encounters. None of us saw one. I don't know, maybe one will pop up over the weekend. Who knows? I probably will just recall them for tomorrow if I decide to do any raids to any of these max battles tomorrow. But for the time being, I didn't see any with my GMAX in there defending. If anyone's at Spears Point and sees one or saw one after I left, leave a comment if you're watching this, I guess. Or if you, I guess in your communities, if you've noticed and saw one pop up, let people know. But yeah. I would also highly recommend not leaving a GMAX to defend in the early days either, because you need them for the next battles. But let's jump into some tips. So in terms of, oh God, I just want to like lie down, I'm so done. So the easiest one by far is the Charizard. Charizard has got a very high attack stat, but that means that its defense and HP are lower. So it's gonna deal a nice little chunk of damage, but like it's not the worst. Again, we got it done with a group of 20. With us having no Gigantamax Pokemon, only Dynamax, and then subsequently got it done with a group of 14 once we had, you know, roughly 1 Gigantamax each, because again, some people weren't able to catch it. So I would kind of recommend, if you want to go in an order, go Charizard, then Venusaur, then Blastoise, and of course using the previous one that you caught to use against the other ones. As I said, we did have to do, because of the number of our group size, we did have to do 2 Charizard to get 2 that are strong enough to then power them up to make, you know, those GMAX ones usable against Venusaur. Venusaur was just a pain, man, it's a pest. Its HP, Venusaur has very high HP, so it's just an absolute tank. It's a sponge and it just absorbs. Its Solar Beam move is super annoying because it's very high damage and just spams it out. So it was kind of like wiping a lot of teams really quickly. This may be something you want to factor in, where if a Pokemon that you're versing has unideal, you know, if it's got Solar Beam, you might just want to skip that one and find a different one. The same could be said for Blastoise with, was Ice Beam, Ice Fang, Ice whatever. There's an Ice move that Blastoise can have. Screw that. That sucked. It was, you know, following the logic of then, you know, using the Venusaur against the Blastoise, Ice is just decimating Venusaur. So it's just wiping the team out so quickly. So then the only people that are hanging in there for their dear life are people that didn't bring, you know, Venusaur. Didn't bring the thing that, you know, makes sense to bring. So keep that in mind as well. Maybe if you all jump in and it's just, you haven't quite got enough people and it is wiping out your teams, you might need to go and find a different Blastoise that doesn't have, you know, the Ice Beam ice moves. Keep in mind as well, the auto select function was really hit and miss. Some of the suggested teams that I had, you know, I realized we're halfway through the battle, I'm like, oh my God, it brought in my Dynamax Blastoise instead of my GMAX Blastoise. Oh, for God's sake, like it's not always intuitive, and they of course look very similar. The only distinction between the GMAX and the DMAX is, you know, one has the pink X as a line and one has like a pink X colored in. You can see that as well when you're trying to like swap on your team, but it's tiny. If you've got vision issues, this is going to be pretty rough to see. And then of course, when you're picking your team and prepping your team, if you're not thinking about that consciously, you might just see that X and go, cool, that's the one. I guess take that extra second to make sure you're picking the Gigantamax over the Dynamax, whatever else. Another thing that you can do is to try and charge up the meter, charge up the power up meter using your Dynamax stuff. And then when it's time to, you know, time to go big and it's your turn to go big and hit them, at that point, you can swap into your Gigantamax Pokemon, do the 3 GMAX moves, and then swap back into your Dynamax Pokemon. So it's the one taking the hits and taking damage, but you're keeping your GMAX alive for longer so it can do more of the power-ups, you know, more of the big attacks. Additionally, for these battles, you're in, you know, groups of however much you want, however big your group is, but within that main lobby, you're gonna be divided into smaller groups. So smaller groups of 4. So essentially, if you're using any healing moves, shielding moves, cheering to help support the team, you are only helping those immediate, like yourself and the 3 others that are in that sub lobby, I guess, that subgroup. So there was one of these lobbies where I'm pretty sure I was by myself. You know, I'm within the overall group of 20, but I'm by myself. So my team just got wiped immediately because I wasn't able to, you know, charge up my max meter fast enough because I was by myself. I didn't have 4 people helping, sort of thing. I'm copying all of the targeted direct hits and then didn't have someone, you know, cheering on to help power up the meter faster either. So I guess keep an eye out for that, keep that in mind. I definitely did notice though that like the healing and shielding was somewhat useful, especially like the shield move, because I did have that unlocked on one of my Blastoise. That did seem to be fairly helpful, just to kind of like reduce a bit of that incoming damage. I don't know overall how much more beneficial it would be as opposed to just, you know, hitting it one more time. But you know, if someone's got a shield, one person uses a shield and everyone else kind of keep hitting, you know, shield once, hit the rest of the times, sort of thing. And then obviously for catching it, there's no way to increase your chances of catching except for getting better throws. So if you're able to hit the excellent throws, that's awesome, go for it. If the best you can do is great throws, do that too. If you can consistently get great throws, it's gonna be better to hit 10 great throws in a row than, you know, 2 excellents and average throws for the other 8 throws, you know? If you can, try and go for the excellents, but again, it is a bit clunky and it does feel very different because the throws are so far away and there's that weird kind of curve thing put on it. It's a bit trickier to get used to, but you know, ideally go for the excellence. Like yes, use the golden raspberries if you have them, because again, the catch rate for these was super annoying. And lastly, obviously the more people that you have, the easier it's gonna be. So I know because this is time zones and rolling out, we won't have all of the information, we won't have all of the insight from every group around the world. But I would love if you are in a community of hardcore players, hardcore tight-knit group, or if someone knows or if someone's tested it, what is the smallest number of people you were able to do one of these with? And you know, what Pokemon did you have? Because I'm really curious to know if people spend the time now to get these ones and spend the energy to unlock the max moves, power up the max moves. Is that gonna be a variance of, instead of needing a group of 14, 15, it's now a group of 10, it's now a group of 5, or is it, oh, instead of needing 15, you only need 14, or instead of needing 14, you only, like, are we only like shaving off one person's worth of damage, or is it doing considerably more? Is the benefit there, sort of thing? Because I think that will be very useful information to know going forward of how much more impactful they are. And obviously then, you know, maybe there is light at the end of there's hope. There's light at the end of the tunnel for communities that have got smaller groups. You know, if you put in the annoying work now, but you're able to, you know, power them up and all that jazz, you know, you're gonna have the benefits later on, or if it's not worth it, you know. If you know that, I would love to see a comment. Let me know how you guys did in your communities. I do genuinely hope that people have fun with this and have a great weekend and like, you know, catch some cool stuff. The shinies for these are stunning. Like they're such beautiful shinies. Like the GMAX Pokemon are so cool. I was really bummed out that after catching them, they don't stay in their GMAX form, especially when it's like you've gone out of your way to catch the GMAX. Like it doesn't stay that way in your menu. It's kind of like, they look so cool. Let them look cool in my storage without me having to like do the button on them. You won't be able to take photos of them either, which is really annoying. I hope that you have fun with it, but I would say be prepared for it to be pretty bloody annoying. Again, I hope that you and your community have your pre-evolved, your pre-powered up stuff. Double check your moves are the correct one. Your fast move is the thing that's affecting the type, you know, the max flare, max water sploosh, whatever. You saw at the start, my Blastoise had it had a bite on it instead of, you know, the hydro squirts or whatever. So make sure that you've got the right moves on and stuff as well today before you do battles. But yes, I've got a headache. Far out. Let me know thoughts and feelings in the comments down below. Do you love this feature? Do you hate it? I had high hopes for GMAX and DMAX stuff, but I don't know, man. It's like at the moment, it's not there. Like when this first released, I was like, this is cool and I see the vision. And now I'm like, good God, did anyone with vision, like who thought this? Like again, if you're a city player, awesome, whatever, have fun. But like, every other human is going to be like struggling to get these done. Additionally, like why make it this, like why make it Charizard, Blastoise and Venusaur? Like of all the things to have as the first GMAX, I think that is the dumbest thing, because it's like we've just had them in Dynamax raids. You've just made us spend resources on these ones to get them good and get a good team. And then you're like, oh, here it is again, but he's got like, he's fancier. And it's also significantly better in DMAX, GMAX raids. Like, at least pretend that we aren't just catching the same thing, and like make it be 3 other Pokemon. Make it be 3 other things that have a GMAX form. Or one thing, hey, it's Lapras. It's Lapras to launch something else as the first GMAX, because it's like, it's so blatantly like, why? Why did you even have Charizard and that as the first ones in Dynamax raids? It should have just been like Sobble, Scorbunny, Grookey, have those. People are going to put resources into those, power those up, use them against GMAX, Blastoise, whatever else, as opposed to like, I've just spent the resources to have this one, and now there's this one, like a month apart. Like, that's silly. That's, I think, adds on to the frustration of it, where it's like, it should have been something else as the GMAX feature, and then just, you know, have GMAX, Charizard, Blastoise, whatever, next year, when people have that separation between having just done the Dynamax versions, you know? Anyway, have fun. I hope you have a good weekend. Maybe spend it doing something else. I don't know, but have fun with it. I hope that you are able to get some of these done, have a good time, and I don't know, hopefully there was some useful information in here that makes that easier, better for you, whatever else. Yeah. As always, lovelies, thank you so much for watching. If you are new, please be sure to subscribe. Thank you to everyone who did leave a like as well. And if you'd like additional ways to support the channel, links for Patreon and the merch are in the description down below. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful morning, noon, night, whatever time it is for you. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.